So, Doc, people listen to us for nonsense, and we give it to them in spades. Nonsense, nonsense, nonsense. Some would even say, on our best days, malarkey. Braves, defending champs. Boy, it sure would be a shame if there was no season next year and we were just still the defending champs.
Also, this guy that got hit, how old was he?
46.
What a loser, just sissy man. You just got punched in the face by a 90-year-old man? Come on, dude.
I'll bet Doc is like the Sinbad of Ames, Iowa.
Oh,
because people, I didn't realize, I thought it was just a Doc thing with the corn jokes. Iowa people love corn jokes.
Well, you know what they say, knee high by July, baby.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that's killing in the Midwest right now. I'm sure when that hits their ears, they're like, that Doc, he gets us.
Doc, what do I love more than anything? That's right, an angry football team.
I prefer to think of Warsaw as like a battle of who's the best saw, right? So you have like a sawzall, you have a skill saw, you have a hacksaw, handsaw. It's just a battle of saws till the death.
Welcome to Spaghetti Junction Boys podcast, coming to you from beautiful Atlanta, Georgia. As always, I am your host, William R. Hildebrand, and I am joined here by the salmon-eating, national-watching, I have no other words to use, Doc Jacobson. That's who he is. You know him. You love him. He's here to tell you about corn. But before we get things started here, we want to thank our friends at Manscaped. Support for the Spaghetti Junction Boys podcast is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's Performance Package is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code SJBAtlanta at manscaped.com. If my math is correct, and it rarely is, that's about 8 million balls. We were sent packages from Manscaped for our packages. Included in there was the one, the only Lawnmower 4.0. This trimmer is the future of grooming and features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 is waterproof and also has a 400K LED spotlight in case you need a more precise shave. If you're anything like me, you somehow still have shaving remnants from 2016 somewhere wandering around your bathroom. Well, thanks to that waterproof technology, say goodbye to the mess on the bathroom floor and say hello to a cleaner, fresher shave. It's time to take care of yourself, so go to manscaped.com and get 20% off and free shipping with the code SJBAtlanta at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at Manscaped when you use the code SJBAtlanta. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. And you see it right here, adorned on this lovely T-shirt, Manscaped. The friends, there we go. That's how cameras work. Our friends over at Manscaped, SJB Atlanta. Doc, did you know if you're in Djibouti and you use our code, free shipping and 20% off? Can you believe that?
That's pretty nice, all over the world. So get on it, people.
Doc, you've got a beard. If your ancestors up in the Nordic Arctic up there, if they want free shipping, they can use our code too.
Look it to them, free to them, which is nice. Of course,
in Iowa,
down payment.
In Iowa, if it's not just the corn that's growing a bit too crazy, also 20% off free shipping to our friends up in Iowa with the code SJB Atlanta.
What about Amish country, where they ship with horse and buggy?
Oh, shit. Doc, this was not in the sponsorship agreement. He threw me a curveball here. I don't know how they get it there. But if there's anyone who can do it, who has the tools for the job, who can overcome adversity, it's our friends at Manscaped. Support the people who support us. Support our friends over at Manscaped. So, Doc, I was talking to you earlier today about we had some beautiful weather here in Atlanta, and I don't mean to excite you. This is not going to be a show about the weather, but it made me start thinking about what means that summer's coming. And I think I have a contender for what tells you that summer's officially here. and it's not school's out. So if you're 22 and under or grad school or going back to school or whatever, get lost. It's when the song of the summer comes out, and it's a coronation of the song of the summer. Like a couple years ago when over a decade ago when Lollipop came out around spring break, and you're like, okay, it's here for spring break. This is also going to be the song of the summer. I think Pop Star by Drake last year very possibly could have been song of the summer. But there's always a song of the summer, an absolute heater that's out. And you don't know when it's coming. You don't know what it's going to be, what genre it could even be. But it's like how the Supreme Court defined pornography. You know it when you see it.
In this case, when you hear it.
Yeah.
My favorite song of the summer all time, I believe it was my 4th year of college, and Hey, What's Up, Hello came out. What's that song? I'm blanking bad, but Hey, What's Up, Hello.
I don't know. I'm a
Trap Queen.
Oh, Trap Queen.
Yeah, that song came out, and that just sent off spring break and into the summer was glorious that year.
I have an early submission for Song of the Summer, and it's AA by Walker Hayes. And, it's typically country or hip-hop that's going to make its way, or just an absolute banger of a pop ballad. I don't know. We'll kind of see what it is.
Well, I remember even, what was it, 2012 or 13, Florida Georgia Line came out with their song Top Back,
Cruise.
I think. Yeah, the Cruise. Yeah, the Cruise. That was song of the summer for sure.
That was absolutely the song of the summer.
Mm-hmm.
They actually hitched their career to having one song of the summer.
Yeah,
It's sort of like when Matt Flynn had that big game in Week 17 for the Packers when Aaron Rodgers was sitting, and he parlayed that into a big contract with Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
That was his song of the summer game, essentially.
Yeah. Got to keep it rolling, baby.
So I got the Nets. We're recording this during the Nets-Cavaliers game. It's in the middle of the third quarter right now. And I've mentioned that I'm very bored with the Nets colors. The Nets used to look like Looney Tunes with their little like swooping shield that they had.
Yeah.
And the Kerry Kittles and Kendall Gill and Jason Kidd. If you didn't think I was a boomer before, you think I am one now. But then when they moved to Brooklyn, they decided, let's be impossibly boring. Let's just lean into DC Comics, go full Gotham, and become just black and white. It's got to be one of the laziest rebrands I've ever seen, where they're just like, what colors could we be? I don't know if they're too wacky. People are going to make fun of us. What are 2 colors that no one gives a shit about that we can just throw it out there and forget about this whole thing? I don't know. What about black and white? But anyway, with that sea of just boring black and white on the court, fans wearing the gear stands and so forth, there's Ben Simmons' big goofy ass in a bright green suit. And it's like that LeBron James short sleeve jacket and shorts kind of suit. Like
I
a blazer.
remember that.
And it's just bright green, and you see his chicken legs poking out. So it's just a sea of black and white and a smattering of gray, and then just this big, dumb green suit.
And I just turned it on, and they just went on a close-up on him. It's worst of all, it is a green leather jacket.
It's leather?
It's leather. It's disgusting looking, dude. It looks like somebody took a piece of lettuce and just stapled it to his shoulders. God, that's ugly.
I just don't understand it. He got mentally broken against the Hawks last year and hasn't played, and it's just been like a slew of just kind of injuries. It's sort of like when I had kind of illnesses to stay home from school on days that I was too tired in high school. I was like, what am I going to tell mom? I used stomach last week. Maybe head? It's a head thing today, definitely. It's a little congested. It's just been him not wanting to play, and he didn't want to play in Philadelphia. Now I guess he doesn't want to play in Brooklyn because it's back, it's knees, it's elbows, it's just everything. But
he's still getting paid, right?
And now he's wearing you're right. It's green leather.
It's green leather. It's disgusting.
Just could not stick out any worse. I don't know. It's bugging me.
Is he getting paid? Because that's a travesty. He should not be getting paid.
Well, so the 76ers are trying to either get back the money or continue withholding the money. And he's fighting back against it. And I saw a bunch of people on Twitter taking his side. And I am always a player empowerment guy. I am always on the player side when it's millionaires versus billionaires. And for whatever reason, for years, we've taken the billionaire side. And for instance, I always tell guys, or I'm always in support of guys sitting out camp in the NFL. Get as much money as you can while you can, because you were absolutely gone the second they don't see value in you. Mm-hmm. They're not going to keep you around for sentimentality. We see that. But in this case, he just decided not to play. I know that you can get into the mental health and so forth, but this also shows a disconnect between professional athletes and the rest of us.
Yeah.
Because if I just told my job, hey, I'm not feeling it for the next few months, I'd be lucky, very, very lucky to have a job later that day, much less for me to have the chutzpah to say, hey, you should be paying me for all of this, right? Not only did I just not feel it today, but I think you should be paying me for all this.
I mean, somebody's got to pay. But, yeah, I don't think he should be paid. And that's chutzpah, man. Chutzpah, like you said, to just sit out. He's got to be healthy. He can't be that dinged up. I mean, to not play in the playoffs.
When there's like a personal injury on the job and they have investigators follow that person around to see if like they actually have to use crutches and all that stuff.
Right.
This also could just be in TV. I don't have any actual time spent in personal injury law. I'm not Alexander Shunnarah, but I think that this should be damning evidence of, hey, I need that money. And the 76ers can go, what? You go buy more leather suits? I know that wasn't cheap. I know I've been to a Marshall's recently, and they don't just sell off-the-rack green leather suits. You don't go into Macy's and say, please direct me to your green leather suits. Oh, this is all you have? Oh, yeah, I was really hoping for something greener and more leather. No, that's an expensive-ass suit to look as ridiculous as he does. And if this goes to court, that should be Exhibit A, case closed.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to Macy's or whatever. He's got to be shopping big and tall at least. I mean, Macy's doesn't hold clothes for 6'8" humans or however tall he is.
Maybe it's a regular suit for people like us, but because he's so tall, that's why it looks like shorts and a short sleeve jacket.
Maybe
he buys off the rack for normal people, but because he's 6'10", it becomes that kind of suit.
That's like if you accidentally buy a child size something because it just gets mixed in or something. Happened to me once or twice. Wasn't trying to buy child size clothing, but you get home and you get the pair of shorts and you're like, wait, what? This barely fits one leg.
Yeah. So that would be my defense if I was the lawyer of, he can't even afford suits that fit. Look, you can see the guy's knees. He needs this 76ers money.
I could have sworn he was wearing jorts as well. Just if he does, all-time move. Isn't he a big outdoorsman too? Wasn't he like fishing in the bubble?
Yes, because I remember a lot of people were making jokes about he couldn't throw a ball into there, but he can throw a hook into there.
I hope he's wearing jorts.
Well, he's from Australia, and if you're from Australia, you got to be pretty big into the outdoors, because I think that whole country, that whole continent of Oceania, is essentially outdoors, because whatever's outdoors can get indoors.
Yeah.
There's no like clear delineation of just like, hey, this wall's up, no animals in here. No, wrong. You're going to have scorpions.
It's like where they do a flyover in a movie and it's in the jungle and it's just an entire city enveloped by the trees and vines, just totally swallowed. That's just all of Oceania. Mm-hmm. I like it.
I actually once tried to compare Florida and Australia to one another, and some Australians reached out. I don't know if they just have Twitter alerts if anyone mentions Australia. That's got to be really taxing. But I had some Australians respond to me and loved it. And then I had one guy start like really getting into politics about everything. And I said, you really don't understand our account if you thought that's where I was going with things. You have a completely wrong view of what we do here, because I'm just getting into it's a bunch of crazy white people who drink a lot, who love playing with deadly reptiles. Like that's essentially what I'm getting at here. If you thought that I was trying to, Parliament in Australia, like, no, that's not it, man. Not it in the slightest.
You don't have town halls? Come on, man.
Well, speaking of public speaking, did you see T.I. is just getting dragged on Twitter for his stand-up?
Yeah. I've listened to a couple of comedians' podcasts that are really good, and all they've been saying is, they respect him for trying it because it's not an easy thing to do, but there's no way he can expect to be good, until like 3 years in. It's just not possible.
Yeah.
I mean, he has his rap career, and he can probably tell stories kind of like a Joey Diaz, but I mean, to actually break into just open mic stand-upping, you're going to suck for a long time.
Yeah, and I think this goes into what we were talking about last week on the show about if you're famous for a really long time, you're surrounded by so many yes people that just want to make sure that they can keep hanging out with you.
Yeah.
And some of them you maybe letting them stay at your house, or you're taking huge dinners out and you're paying for everybody. You're taking trips, you're paying for it and all that. So they don't want to go against the grain like a regular friendship. That I bet he hasn't had very many people tell him the truth in a while. He's probably gotten, because he's been famous for 15, 20 years. And what, ATL came out in like the 2000s?
Yeah, that was like, around there.
And so he definitely has had a lot of courtesy laughs to things. I mean, T.I. was probably doing a Borat impression like a year ago. People are like, man, T.I., you got to stop that. You're killing us, man. Stop it. I'm going to pee my pants over here. And it's just so they don't get cut off. And I also think that it's sort of like what I had to deal with when I was a journalist, and people would tell me, hey, I always thought I could do that. My English teacher in middle school said I was an excellent writer. Hey, that goes into it. Yeah, my day-to-day job is just writing book reports on Hamilton, and it goes on Shakespeare, and it goes into the newspaper. That's all this is. That I'm sure someone told him once, like, man, you're funny, and he's like, what do funny people do? That's right, we do stand-up. I bet I could do stand-up.
I think of it from the jealousy side, also with the Yes Men, though. He's watching like Jumanji 2 and Kevin Hart just making $1 billion for being in a TV or a movie series, and just being like, Kevin Hart's, he's in everything now. How, he's hilarious. Where'd he get his start at? I want to be like Kevin Hart. And then just falling right into stand-up, whereas Kevin Hart started. And his boys just being like, oh, yeah, definitely, you can do it. Anybody can do it. But clearly not.
Well, he's having some issues with both the content. I've seen some clips, and it's not funny content, but his delivery is also just awful. Like there's no cadence whatsoever. It's just him nervously regurgitating into a microphone. And I saw one instance where a comedian was making fun of him for doing it, which you have to expect. I mean, in rap, we learned it in 8 Mile that you go at each other. You have some rap battles. And in comedy, people make fun of each other. And he went out to like the front of the stage and was like yelling at the guy for making jokes about it. That's not what you do.
No. It's crazy. I do hope, though, I mean, Atlanta has a decent comedy scene as is, but I hope he can grow it and maybe opens up, T.I. Comedy Club or something and just starts bringing in more big name acts down here. Because
no, he's not going to have competition coming in. He's
saying
he's going to be the only act at T.I. Comedy Club.
Oh, yeah, he might, just open it up, realizes he can't do the on-stage part, and maybe goes back behind the scenes. Who knows?
No, when he gives up on comedy, he's shutting it all down. T.I. Comedy Club on Piedmont, done. Closed.
Yeah. Just a Molotov thrown through the window.
Speaking of a little dissonance, I was pointed out to an argument on the internet by my wife today, and I broached it with you, and I have realized We are on different sides of this, Doc. So get ready. We've said that we weren't going to be anything like First Take, like Get Up, like Cold Pizza. Wrong. Here comes Embrace Debate streaming right into your ears. If you're watching on YouTube, right into your living room or the MARTA or wherever you're watching or listening. So the argument is, are there more windows or more doors on Earth or wheels on Earth? Doc.
Clearly, there's more wheels. All right, here's my argument behind that. Yes, every car has 4 wheels and 4 doors. Not every car has 4 doors. So, they get a little bit of law averages there. There's 4 wheels per car. Then you get to 18-wheelers. They have 18 wheels and 2 doors. So then your averages start going up. We see all these truckers lined up all over the place, taking shipments all over the country and all over the world. Truckers are a huge part of our economy. There's 18 wheels to each truck. It's a big, big number there that really shoots it through. The other thing I'm going to say, junkyards. Junkyards have piles and piles and piles of tires. They need tires. And then the other thing, or then my third point, I'll let you take over after this, is retail tire sellers. Think how many retail tire sellers, can't talk tonight, have just piles and piles and piles of tires sitting in a warehouse waiting to ship at a moment's notice. We're talking Walmart sells tires, Costco sells tires, Discount Tire, your local mom and pop shop down the store has tires. We're talking billions and billions of tires, people. Clearly, there are more tires than doors. I didn't even touch bicycles.
I like how you started stretching into billions and billions as if you own all of these wheels, that these all belong to you. So, listen, I counted earlier, I have 18 doors in my house. I have 1 car, my wife has 1 car. So now we're already at a plus 10 differential. And a lot of people have units like me. People have closet doors. They have bathroom doors. They have linen closet doors. They have front doors. They have back doors. They have porch doors. They have garage doors. Doors galore. And you want to talk about these discount tire centers? I see your discount tire centers, and I raise you Home Depot and Lowe's, where they have door after door after door. There are doors galore, my friend. You go to an office building, door, 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 door. There's just office doors. There's elevator doors. There's bathroom doors. There's bathroom stall doors. There are doors as far as the eye can see. We have more doors than Vanderbilt has doors. You go to a big, heavily populated, heavily dense city like Tokyo, like New York City, like Boston, like San Francisco, LA, Chicago. All these buildings, a lot of people aren't driving. A lot of people aren't driving. They're walking. They're taking subways. Now, subways, also, those subway cars, they have wheels. They have wheels. I'll give you that. But you look at the Empire State Building, how many doors do you think are in that sumbitch?
Rebuttal. All right, you want to know why else you're wrong? Because you just brought this to my attention. There's a great point with the office buildings. You almost had me stumped. But you know what's in an office building? Chairs. You know, we're on the bottom of office chairs? Wheels. That's 8 wheel per chair. You have to have as many chairs as you have people. You're going to tell me there's more doors than people in a damn office? You're crazy.
Not all chairs have wheels, but all floors have a shit ton of doors.
In an office building, every office chair in the world has wheels.
But you think about how many people have cars. I bet more people don't have cars than there are people who have multiple cars just for themselves. And so then you think those people are all living in a house, in an apartment, what have you. A lot of doors, outnumbering them. And so then you start thinking, okay, so just on the consumer base, more doors to wheels by an exorbitant number, just kicking the shit out of wheels in that regard. And then you go into the commercial space. If you want to talk about all the 18-wheelers that there are, you don't think that there's an assload of doors at an Amazon center? Come on. At anywhere that employs 18-wheelers, those buildings have so many doors.
You know what else they have? Equipment operators and equipment to move around pallets. Whether they're robotic or man-powered or man-handled, they have to have wheels. They have to go around someplace or some way. You know what's been around longer than a door? A wheel. The wheel was invented right after fire. They didn't make doors and then a wheel. They said, I got to get my stuff from point A to point B. Give me a wheel. I don't need no door to protect it yet. I'm living in a cave. Can't make a door. I have a wheel.
Listen, so what you're saying by saying that wheels went before doors is that doors are an evolution because doors are better. We had to grow and evolve into doors. Wheels are so elementary that we even just forget about them. We've tried to evolve past wheels. That's why they have those big like chain things on some of the construction equipment that you see. It's because they think that wheels are dumb and that
There
they're
are wheels inside the treads.
fake news. And we're building past those wheels. You look at construction sites that you want to point out about all their wheels, tremendous amounts of wheels. Porta potties. What do porta potties have? Doors. What don't they have? Wheels.
Most construction sites have 5-6 porta potties total. So no, bad point there.
5 or 6 doors right there. We're chalking it up. I already just absolutely dismantled you in the consumer side of things.
Absolutely not.
Name a person who in their residence has more wheels than they have doors.
You do.
Wrong.
If you count the wheels on your chair, you count the wheels on your treadmill, you count the wheels on your rowing machine that you
No
use
wheels
to
on the
maneuver
treadmill
out.
or on the road.
Bullshit. They have wheels. How do you move them around?
No wheels.
Bullshit. We're doing a wheel count at some point.
No wheels.
Your
I'm
old
wheelless.
miss little thing behind you. That's a wheel.
What?
Your Ole Miss Rebels, the circle thing. It's technically a wheel.
That's not a wheel.
It's a very skinny wheel. It's a
That's
circle.
a circle. Are we getting into circles versus wheels? Because holy shit, if you want to get into circles versus rectangles, buddy, I will drown you. You would not believe how many rectangles are in this world.
That's not fair because squares are rectangles as well. So that's just an unfair argument. There's obviously more rectangles.
You tried to bend the rules, and look where it got you, my friend.
You have a bar cart in your house, do you? There's wheels on that.
No, there's not wheels on that.
Debatable. Anyways, yeah, wheels way more than doors. I can't believe this is even a thought problem. What about Moroccan open markets? They don't have doors. They got wheels going up and down there all day, all night. No doors, open air.
I knew you were going to throw Moroccan open air markets in my face. I saw that coming a mile away. Trust me. What did Benny Hill start running through when he was doing those cartoons? What did Scooby-Doo with the Benny Hill music start doing when they were in haunted hotels? They weren't running from wheel to wheel. No, they're running door to door to door. And those doors outnumber the Mystery Machine by a million.
But when they get running real fast and their legs start going so fast, it looks like a wheel. So I need points there.
I mean, I feel like we're going in a wheel now.
Airplanes, they don't have doors. Well, I guess they kind of do, but they have 10 wheels per every airplane.
What airplanes are you flying in? Are you just tasting death every time that you fly in an airplane? They're just going au natural and hey, enjoy the oxygen just zooming through here from the sky.
Yeah, I go open air airplane rides.
Oh, hey, I gotta go use the John. If I could move out of our row for a second, don't worry, you'll smell it because there's no door on the bathroom.
You were a child in the cockpit. That was a dumb example. Should I go talk to the pilot mid-flight?
It's open air. Hey, Marty, you think we're gonna go through this airstream here? You think we're gonna beat our time? Thanks.
Okay, all right, then point you. Fine. But here's my last and final point, and it goes back to the commerce side of things. You were a child in the 90s, were you not?
I'm a child now.
Yeah, obviously. What was the greatest pair of shoes you could buy as a child in the 90s? Yes, that's right. Heelys or wheelies, depending on what part of the country you're from. 2 wheels, 2 shoes, every child in America, and I'm sure everywhere else. That's extra wheels. You don't even think about those wheels.
But not every child got those. Most children did not. And so when you asked for those after you were watching commercials during Double Dare 2000, and your parents said, no, we're not getting you shoes with wheels. Where did you go? Your room. And what did you slam when you got there? Boom!
Okay. Yeah, I mean, clearly there's just I'm not going to turn your argument, and you're not going to turn my argument. We're at a stalemate.
This is what people do on Twitter with politics all day long.
Yeah.
It's just shouting different things, really using a lot of conjecture, and just neither of them are going to change their mind, but they just keep yelling. But the problem is, Doc and I will not have this conversation until we're drunk at a bar and it just somehow pops into our brains months from now. Meanwhile, those same people on Twitter are going to go at it tomorrow and bet your smart money on they're going to go at it on Thursday too.
Yeah, but wheels are greater than doors in all sense of the word.
Well, I'm shutting the door on this. I came across something kind of interesting earlier today in that apparently Apple TV as streaming services are making moves with live sports and alternative broadcasts for live sports as well. We saw Kirk Herbstreit get buku bucks from Amazon, and Apple TV has gotten into MLB broadcast. They've had a couple really fun teams that they've had going, a lot of interesting teams. But one wild move that they tried to make is, according to the New York Post, Apple looked into if Bill Simmons and Mina had any interest in being in their booths, according to sources. Neither did, but it shows Apple wanted to go outside the batter's box for its third voice, end quote. Which is just fascinating, considering Bill Simmons wrote the big book of basketball and Mina Kimes is an NFL analyst on ESPN. And they
Football
wanted
savant.
to combine the two to talk about a sport that neither are famous for talking about.
She's a football savant, first of all. Give her respect.
Oh, no,
She's
no
awesome.
question about it.
She's so smart.
Yeah.
I think it would be great. You see kind of a different aspect here. There's a lot more banter that they can go off with baseball. Let's be honest, baseball is the slowest sport to color commentate of any sport out there. I mean, curling has more color commentating in it than baseball does. And I love baseball. I love watching baseball. I love going to baseball games. I love playing baseball. But it is the easiest game in the world because there's just so much in between chatter, in between batting and pitching. You don't have to be tuned in the entire time. Hell, you know.
Wait, it's the easiest game to call?
Yes, to call.
Okay.
And color commentating, like in between, like the little banter back and forth. There's so much pause and time for that in the game that you don't have to be, Johnny so-and-so's brother's mother's sister played in the Olympics or something crazy like that. You can get into cooler conversations, I think.
Yeah, I do like the idea of going outside the box. I know Apple TV hired Katie Nolan with Hunter Pence, and I forget who else is in the booth. And they had a couple interesting teams that they have going. And I do think that is the way to go. In baseball, it's nice to see that they're trying to make moves to be more interesting, because forever they've just said, no, we are the way that we are, and we've been that way for 150 years. And that's not going to win you people. And I think they've finally started to bite the bullet on that's not going to win them people. And so how are you going to draw someone to a broadcast? I've said I don't understand the big money for your broadcasters like your Joe Buck, your Chris Collinsworth, Troy Aikman, Al Michaels, and so forth. That they never make me watch the game. It's the time slot, it's the channel that it's on, it's the teams that are playing that let you know it's a big game. It's not because Al Michaels is calling it. And I'm not going to watch a game just because Al Michaels is doing it. And I'm not going to not watch a game because Al Michaels is doing it. But where you can get into gaining viewers just because of the announcers is if you have someone who's interesting. Pat McAfee is one of the most interesting dudes because he has the bona fides in being one of the best punters of the modern era. A lot of people forget just how good of a punter he was. He wasn't just a punter in the NFL. He was a fantastic punter in the NFL. But he's also a really funny, interesting, engaging dude to listen to. And so when he called some football games, I tuned in because he was calling football games. I find Mike Golick Jr., Gojo, to also be a really interesting dude to listen to. The Manning cast, due to their immense bona fides, the fact that you have the weird brotherly thing going on, the fact that they have cool guests on, and that they're not polished, they just talk about what have you, you saw what a huge success that was. So I do like that they're shooting for this, but I don't think that they barked up the right tree on this. I also do think that they need to get away from their little bubble of the Northeast. For some reason, all the media companies up there in New York and in Connecticut think, hey, we live in New York and Connecticut. Don't you think everyone wishes they were in New York and Connecticut? Boss, I don't know if that's true. Oh, well, everyone loves our accents, right? No one finds them abrasive. No, I also don't think that's true. Oh, hogwash. Let's get everyone we can to have a thick New York or Boston accent, and let's put them on TV. If you look at the mornings on ESPN and who they've thrown out there, Greeny, Long Island guy. Stephen A. Smith talks about how he's from, I think, Queens? I don't know.
Queens.
Max Kellerman, big New York City guy. They had that Nick Rosenberg, who's I know it's a bit of mum's the word that you're not supposed to talk about someone in media being terrible at their job. But I can't listen to that dude. Oh my God, I can't listen to that dude. And just on and on with the New York accents, and I just don't get it. The vast majority of the country has nothing to do with New York and Connecticut, yet they still keep throwing this at us. You want to know someone who's not from the Northeast that ESPN has, who I would watch a baseball game if he's calling it? Marty Party. Get me Marty Smith on the air, and I will watch it. If you get me Marty Smith does some sideline work, that's not enough for me. I would love Marty Party in a booth, okay?
You put Marty Party up there and David Ortiz. That was the first one that came to my head of like that kind of baseball savant, like a Tony Romo type cast, where they could call out pitches and shifts and kind of explain the inner workings of a game more to the common public, which is great for the game building as well.
I love
But
Big
then
Poppy.
you also have Big Poppy's character, who's just the man. He is awesome. So I love that idea. We got a petition for it. Let's make it happen. Why not?
For so long,
Marty Party and Big Poppy. Let's do it.
The personalities that baseball tries to throw out there is sort of like if your church says that they have a funny guy come and speak with you. Like, okay, it can be a little funny, but I know that there's a limit on this. It's like if baseball tries to be fun, you know that there's a limit to the fun, essentially. But Big Poppy is terrific. No one will ever beat what Charles Barkley has brought to sports television, but Big Poppy's kind of getting into territory for me of baseball Big Poppy.
Mm-hmm.
A-Rod bores me to absolute death.
I know. He's a wet blanket. He's so boring to listen to.
I cannot listen to A-Rod. Obviously, fantastic baseball player, accomplished a ton and this, that, and the other, but he's just boring to me. And there's a lot of dudes like that they throw around in baseball.
Or just has like a monotone pitch. Like he doesn't have much variation in his voice. Like you can't tell when he's excited when he's talking about something. It's really odd.
Yeah, I think you also need to let guys let loose of their whole professional broadcast in their lane kind of thing. Because Boog Sciambi, who was with ESPN forever, now calls games on Marquee Network. I've heard podcasts with Boog Sciambi where he's a really funny, interesting guy. But he's also so professional when he's on the air on baseball broadcast, and he takes his job very, very seriously and is by the book, which is great. I'm not insulting the guy for that. But I'd love if he let loose a little bit, Yeah. You don't have to be Bill Watson 3 buttons up. You can button it down, show a little chest hair, figuratively.
It's the worst look in all of looks.
Obviously, not literally show chest hair. Manscaped for all of your body and facial hair needs, but figuratively. Let the chest hair out.
Yeah, and I think that's if they're not going to do player empowerment, MLB clearly just doesn't know how to do it. I think is what's here. They're just incompetent and can't get big name players' faces out there more in the media. I think that this is the way they'll have to go. They'll have to do some big time, commentating spot, which isn't going to help out much. I don't know how many people listen to a game, like you said, listen or watch a game for the commentating. And if it's your home team, you're going to listen to your home team announcers. It's just not the way to do it.
Well, one place that you won't want to find a hair, Doc, is in your Baskin-Robins ice cream. And for our last story of tonight, the Massachusetts-based ice cream shop, Baskin-Robins, is not only tweaking their logo, but they will also be selling merchandise from an online store for the first time. And one such thing in that merchandise store, bicycles. Now, I had to check my calendar. I had to make sure that this is April 12th and not April 1st. Because if there is anything I think about associated with Baskin-Robbins less, it's bicycles.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, I could see maybe you link it with ice cream, a bicycle with ice cream, if it's like a tandem bike and you used to ride them in the summer, wherever you were summering.
You ridden a tandem bike?
Yeah, they're insanely hard.
Yeah.
Unless, well, that's because they put me on the back. If you're in the front, it's probably easier, but back, not the
I don't know the schematics, but 2 wheels.
2 wheels, yeah. And then more for my wheel argument here. I mean, they're mass-producing bikes. And how badly did you have to hold back a Tom Segura bikes yell from his stand-up? Bikes!
I mean, listen, we had T.I. right there is the layup. But see, for me, of course, yeah, you ride bikes at the beach down to get some ice cream. It's a lovely day. But that's not a middle ground of a Venn diagram I see very often, is biking enthusiasts and ice cream. Also, if you get a bicycle you're not a cycling enthusiast if you're getting your bicycle from the Baskin-Robbins online store. I don't imagine dudes are showing up to the triathlon and say, "Oh, you got a Schwinn? Yeah, where'd you get yours? Why is it pink and brown?" Oh yeah, this is the Neapolitan edition from Baskin-Robbins. You like it? Yeah, it came in like 14 parts. I had to put it together like an IKEA sofa. It's also, as I was reading this, and because it makes such little sense to me, I really want one. I was considering getting a bicycle and upping the wheels in this house, and now I really want to get one. I'm not sure of the price of it. I'm also not sure if this is like a Dave and Buster's situation where I have to like collect enough Pop-Tarts from the ice cream and then I can cash it in for a bicycle. Because if you do it that way, you're really going to need a bicycle at some point.
Yeah, you probably get like type 2 diabetes or something if they're just making you buy gallons of barrel gallons of just ice cream at a time to get this. It was like, remember when the Monopoly game came out and they said you could win an Apache helicopter or whatever? It's like that. Like people just must have ate so much McDonald's that they're just trying to get that Apache helicopter.
It's going to be me showing up for my annual physical and the doctor's just saying, so Mr. Hildebrand, we got to talk. Oh, what is it? Is my blood pressure up a little bit? No, blood pressure is the least of our concerns at the moment. You have put on 85 pounds since I saw you last year? Yeah. And what's the cause of this? Oh, I'm kind of a health nut, saving up for a new bike. You're saving up for a new bike and you've gained 85 pounds? Yes. It's a lot of Baskin-Robbins. I don't even like it anymore, but it's hard work. I got to put it in. I'm only like 140 cartons away from getting this bicycle and can't give up now. Mama didn't raise no quitter.
They just ask for so many carton tops. I don't know what to do.
I'm just gonna die from a myriad of diseases while saving up for this bicycle. It's like, just please speak, tell my story at my funeral of just he died doing what he loved, saving up for a bicycle. I mean, sure, he didn't have to spend $18,000 on ice cream to get there. He could have just spent $400 and bought it, but I got to continue his mission. If I die trying to get this bicycle, you have to avenge me, Doc. I don't know if that means that you keep going until you get the bicycle. I don't know if these are transferable. I got to call my attorney and see if I can pass this off in my will or not, or if it just dies with me.
Yeah, you have to figure that out. And if they're not non-transferable, I'm burning down every Baskin-Robbins I see. That's my vengeance for you, brother. You're gonna burn them down. And also, if they don't have an awesome giveaway one that's like designed by Paulie Jr. from OCC, what are they doing? They're missing big time. How sick would it be to have like a flared out chopper and Baskin-Robbins style? Everything ice cream coned and ice cream scoop.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah, I've really got to find how to get one of these bicycles. I'm searching Baskin-Robbins bicycle, and it's just a bunch of stories talking about how they're rolling out bikes. But I'm also seeing vintage Baskin-Robbins promotional bicycle listed 1 year ago in Belton, Missouri. Holy shit, they used to sell bicycles.
What?
This one's $100. These bikes were not sold in stores and were given away to prize winners. May need an inner tube and has tiny flaw on the seat. What's an
Is
inner
that like
tube?
a Craigslist ad? Oh, that's what inflates inside of the tire that makes it puff up.
This is built like the handlebars are built like a Schwinn bicycle, like a racing bike.
That's awesome.
$100. It looks like it hasn't been sold yet.
It looks like they're and before the show went on, they're also building skateboards as well. I see in a report. So not just bicycles, but also skateboards.
Yeah,
Skateboard makes more sense.
I'm really glad that Baskin-Robbins is getting into the action sports space, kind of the crossover we were all hoping for. I can't wait to see Sal Masakura at the X Games going, all right, now we have Bob Burnquist entering into the half pipe. He's unmistakable with his Baskin-Robbins skateboard. Up, and here he goes to do the 900. Get 2 scoops of that. Put some sprinkles on it. He's getting the gold.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet. I mean, that's now Mountain Dew's #1 competitor in the action market scene. Baskin-Robbins. We have some flavor wars coming up, and I'm excited.
I'm Team Baskin on that.
I think so too. I don't drink soda anymore. I'll occasionally have some ice cream, way more than I'll have soda. So
that's another, to bring us full circle this episode, that's another staple of the summer for me is, for anyone who knows me, if you see me drinking an orange soda, that's like Puxatawny Phil, but for summer. I do not drink it in the other seasons of the year. I will not have an orange soda. But if you see me with an orange soda, you can bet your ass it's summer, baby.
Summer Mike, like Prison Mike, but with the orange soda. Hell yeah.
You're damn right. All right, well, that's going to do it for us. Thanks, as always, for listening. Don't forget to check out Manscaped. You know, this whole episode, if you're watching on our YouTube stream, you've seen me just continue. It's like I'm working with a green screen, but really it's just in a camera trying to figure out how that works. When really I could have just looked down and said Manscaped right here. But Manscaped, the people right here that you can read right here, will get you 20% off and free shipping if you use the code SJBAtlanta at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com with the code SJBAtlanta. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. You can check us out on Twitter at SJBAtlanta, on our website, SJBAtlanta.com. Check us out on Instagram at Spaghetti Junction Boys. If you haven't already, if you could throw us a subscription to YouTube, it is free. Is that not right, Doc? It is free.
That's the best kind of cost in the country. It is free. No cost.
My favorite kind of beer has always been free beer, and this is free for you. So go give us a subscription there. Check us out. Thanks as always for listening, and we'll see you next week.